It is the 5th day of May 2023 and you're just in time for another edition of TV47 News Updates. We have so much lined up for you on our bulletin this afternoon. Remember, you can always interact with us on our social media handles indicated at the bottom of your screen. Now with that said, my name is Dennis Otieno. I trust you're doing well. Welcome to the broadcast. Now on to our top story this afternoon. President William Ruto has appointed a commission of inquiry on the Shakahola tragedy. That will constitute of commissioners, joint secretaries, lead counsel and assisting counsel, while at the same time appointing a task force to review the legal and regulatory framework governing religious organizations. The Commission of Inquiry on the Shakahola tragedy will be chaired by Honorable Lady Justice Jessie Lesit, and will have Kioko Kilukumi as the lead counsel, among other members, while the task force to review the regulatory framework governing religious organizations will be led by Honorable Reverend Mutava Musimi. The mandate of the committee to inquire on the Shakahola tragedy will include a probe over the deaths, torture, inhumane and degrading treatment of members and other persons linked to the Good News International Church in Kilifi County, as well as establish the circumstances under which the deaths occurred, among other responsibilities. Meanwhile, the Religious Organizations Review Task Force has been mandated to identify the legal, institutional and governance challenges that have allowed or may allow religious extremists, organizations, sects, cults and other similar outfits in the country to engage in practices detrimental to individual health and safety, among other tasks. We can only hope the committee finds the answers that many Kenyans are looking for, and that the task force is going to bring sanity to the sprouting religious organizations in the country. Now, moving on, controversial preacher Paul Mackenzie, who is accused of forcing his followers to starve themselves to death, appeared in court today. The self-declared pastor is due to face terrorism charges for allegedly urging his supporters to starve to death. More than 100 people have so far been confirmed dead, majority being children.
This extreme ideology to others that they interact with, or they themselves to go back into the forest to fast. It is the duty of the state to protect purification parades. So that the victims need first be restored to that place where they can appear and say, I recognize the sixth, I recognize the second. That again needs time that we are seeking.
Meanwhile, the widow of freedom fighter Field Marshal Dedan Kimathi, Mukami Kimathi, is dead, according to her daughter Evelyn Kimathi Wangoi, after developing breathing difficulties. Mukami was among the Mau Mau freedom fighters detained at the Kamiti Maximum Prison during the struggle for independence. She was instrumental in the push that helped Kenya gain its independence from the colonialists. Mukami recently received financial aid from President William Ruto's administration, which helped her clear a 1.3 million shillings hospital bill. May the soul of our national legend rest in eternal peace. But moving on, President William Ruto and Azimio leader Raila Odinga's bipartisan team resumed talks this morning following the suspension of demos by Azimio coalition. During today's meeting, co-chairs of the dialogue team, Tharaka MP George Muragara and Otiende Amolo, expressed their commitment for the talks, which resume fully next week when they are expected to break the ice on framework of engagement and how to strike consensus. The 14-member bipartisan team further spoke on the need for urgency in the talks. High Court Advocate Muthomi Thiankolu was nominated by Kenya Kwanza to the Joint Secretariat, which he will co-share with Azimio's representative Paul Mwangi. Now, from that note, we shift focus to matters security in the country, where Chief of Defense Forces CDF General Francis Ogolla has officially assumed office, taking the mantle from outgoing Chief of Defense Forces General Robert Kibochi. The change of guard took place on Friday at the Ulinzi Sports Complex. Speaking during the function, Major General Robert Kibochi lauded the government for the support they granted him during his tenure. Take a look.
Our gallant soldiers, airmen and sailors are the backbone of our nation's defense. I feel honored to have been chosen to lead such a distinguished team. I am acutely aware of the evolving national and global security challenges which we face in this volatile, uncertain, complex and dynamic security environment. It has also not escaped me that times have changed, and so are the security threats we face. I am well aware that strategies which were used yesterday may not be applicable today, and neither will strategies of today be applicable tomorrow. However, I am confident that with the dedication and commitment of our men and women in uniform, we will collectively be able to develop strategies which will enable us overcome these challenges and ensure the safety, security, stability of our nation and its people for sustainable economic development and prosperity. I am confident that through His Excellency's strategic guidance and wise counsel, the Kenya Defence Forces leadership team that I will lead will succeed in delivering defense and security to the Kenyan people. Working closely with other security agencies within a broader multi-agency framework, I believe it will be in the continuing to capitalize on this multi-agency concept that synergy will be created to enable us deliver on our security mandate. I wish to thank my predecessor, General Kibochi, for his mentorship, guidance, and cooperation, without which I would not have reached this position. I thank my family for the support they have accorded me in every step of my life in the military. Finally, I wish to humbly request for the support of all the officers and service members in KDF, that we all pull together in the same direction in order to achieve our mission. I strongly believe that every contribution from everyone is necessary and important in creating the synergy for the success of our mission.
President William Ruto earlier today held bilateral talks with the German Chancellor Olaf Scholz at the State House, Nairobi. Addressing the press after the bilateral talks, President William Ruto said they are committed to working together in the implementation of the Paris Agreement. He said Kenya will support German investors with incentives to engage successfully with investment opportunities in the country.
Attainment of independence, Germany became the first state to recognize our newly born nation. That marked the beginning of a deep friendship that has grown stronger every passing year. Our common values and cooperation in diverse spheres of endeavor, including energy, climate action, agriculture, health, trade and investment, and education, have marked our bilateral development. My recent visit to Berlin in March and the Chancellor's return visit today have taken place at a time when our two countries are commemorating 60 years since the establishment of diplomatic relations. The Chancellor and I have had fruitful discussions, and we have exchanged views on the strategies and pathways through which we can deepen the excellent relations between our two countries. I have taken time to brief the Chancellor of the government's progress in improving the business environment, which has made Kenya significantly more attractive to German investors. I encourage the business delegation, which is here with us, which has accompanied the Chancellor, to explore and exploit the huge untapped investment opportunities in Kenya. I also invite them to take advantage of Kenya and Nairobi's natural geostrategic advantage and use our capital as the gateway and hub for their regional and continental investments. I assure the business delegation, on behalf of the entire German business community, that Kenya will support German investors with incentives to engage successfully in investment opportunities in our country. In our meeting, the Chancellor and I have agreed on a number of issues. The Chancellor and I have discussed in detail employment opportunities for professionals, skilled and semi-skilled Kenyans in Germany, a matter of equal great interest in meeting Germany's huge labor requirements. I have urged my good brother Chancellor Scholz to review and ease immigration laws, and I am very confident that they are well underway to enable Kenyans find employment in Germany. We have therefore...
Now, there was drama at the Embu Level 5 hospital after two families differed over who should bury their 3-year-old boy whose body was retrieved. His paternal family insists on burying him according to the Muslim faith. However, the boy's mother has rejected the proposal, saying his child is a Christian. The war of words between the two families escalated into a physical brawl, with the burial ceremony being halted following the fracas. Take a look.
Babake huyo kijana, babake mtoto wangu alikufa. Sasa juu babake alikufa, wakamchukua huyo kijana akiwa mdogo Aziz, na huyo babake baba mtoto wangu walikuwa marafiki. Sasa wakamchukua wakalia babake mtoto. Sasa ndio maana wanasema mtoto wangu ni Muislamu na si Muislamu. Wanataka wazike mtoto wangu jana na staki. Nataka kwanza uchunguzi ifanywe nijue ni nini kilikuwa mtoto wangu.
Sisi tumekuja hapa postmortem peke yake. Tuangalie ndio tujue ukweli wa mambo. Juu hii maiti inaonekana kuna vitu vimefanyika, na sisi Waislamu hatupendi hiyo kitu, lakini ilibidi likubali because mtoto ametolewa, kuna sehemu za mwili hana.
Elsewhere, perennial water scarcity in Thika town has continued to punch the busy town's upgrade aspirations. The drastic population increase, revival of factories and opening of new ones in the industrial town has increased water demand, with the area water service provider, Thika Water and Sewerage Company, Thiwasco, failing to meet the demand. According to the Thiwasco Managing Director, Engineer Moses Kenya, the company is grappling to meet the demand of 75,000 meters cubic against its production of 39,000 meter cubic. Speaking during an annual stakeholders consultative meeting, Kenya blamed the water challenge for delayed expansion of the company's water production plant.
To mitigate against the various challenges, one of them, we have projects arranged by our national and county governments. One of them, as we have been told today, is the Thika Water Project, the Karimeno Dam 2 pipeline that will bring an additional 20,000 meter cubed.
Sisi kama wanabiashara tunakubali kumekuwa na shida ya maji, especially wakati wa kiangazi, na maji imekuwa ikipimwa, lakini sasa tumeahidiwa ya kwamba kwa sababu kuna pesa ya serikali ya Danida na ya Karimeno, maji ikuje na tuone kazi imeanza mara moja.
Ningeuliza county government hawarakishe kurelease zile shamba walipewa na Del Monte, wape Thiwasco ile shamba ya Kilimambogo yenye wanataka kutengeneza ultra purification plant ya kuosha maji, ili watu wa hiyo area ya Magogoni na hiyo area nyingine ya Kilimambogo na Katuanyaga waweze kupata maji safi.
The Ministry of Health, in collaboration with Garissa County Government and Terre de Homme TDH, non-governmental organization, has launched a nutrition response program aimed at preventing and treating malnutrition among children and pregnant and lactating mothers in Garissa. According to UNICEF's project manager in Garissa County, Tom Omolo, the nutrition situation among children in the county remains very critical, as over 60,000 children are suffering from malnutrition, with 17,000 of them severely malnourished. The program aims to address the nutrition and health needs of the vulnerable populations in the county as a result of the immediate drought emergency, as well as strengthen community and facilitate level nutrition services and hygiene promotion.
As you know, Garissa County has what they call the GAM rate, which is the Global Equivalent Nutrition Rate of 22.1%, which is extremely high compared with the the Kenya Democratic Health Survey, which is about 17.5%. We have a stunting level of 9%, actually the lowest in the country, but we are fairly doing well. But the drought situation has actually increased our global acute malnutrition rate of 21.2%, which had been on the extreme side for the last 5 years. We have never seen such.
We have seen that through this particular response, the county has been able to reach many children. Last year alone, over 7,000 children who were severely malnourished were actually treated, courtesy of the support, the leadership that is provided by the county government and the support that they also get from different actors. The exercise has just ended, and we have, through that particular process, the department has been able to screen over 80% of children who are severely malnourished. They have been able to identify those who are malnourished, they have been referred, and also some of them were treated on site for malnutrition.
So wamama wameelimika kupitia sisi kuwatembelea, then tunashukuru siku hizi tunapata watoto tunawapatilia hivyo vitamin A wanapata, wanafanywa deworming, then wale wa malnutrition tunawarifa. Wakifika pale kuna wale wako severe wanaanzishiwa wanaweka